Hi, and welcome back. I hope you guys liked my last video. It was actually kind of scary. It's kind of scary to do this and put yourself out there, but here I am facing my fears. Today I have another ghost story, haunting story, whatever you want to call it for you. And again, I'm going to do my makeup at the same time. Last time I tried to do this, I said something in my last video that I did not particularly like it bothered me. And if it bothers me, then I want to address it. In my last video, I referred to a group of people as druggies, and then when I went through it and like re-saw it and heard what I said, it actually hurt my own feelings because I have a lot of friends who have issues with addiction, and addiction is a very, very serious disease and should not be belittled or made fun of. So I apologize if anyone thought that that's what I was doing when I said that. It was not. I will try to use less derogatory language in the future. Except swearing, because like, I love me some swear words. For those of you who are new here, welcome. Hi, my name is Sam. It's very nice to meet you. And I just am gonna dive right in. Let's just dive right into this story. The place I'm going to talk about today is called Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery. Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery is located out in Frewsburg, New York. People I think go there all the time now. When I went, it was back in like between 2013 and 2015. And I went with two friends, Kyle and Tony. And we went at like, not nighttime, but I think it was the time of year where it got dark early, so it was like a normal time of day, but then it was also still dark. A little background information on Gurnsey Hollow. It was built back in the early 1800s. They don't really have a specific date because they're not really sure, but the first tombstone, or like the oldest tombstone there, is from the early 1800s. And it was originally made for children who suffered from smallpox during this time. So this graveyard, a majority of it is children, buried children, which is already sad enough. Kyle, Tony, and I were about an hour away, so we had to drive about an hour to get to this cemetery. And it really wasn't that bad. Like, I've driven multiple, like 6 hours in one day, and I'm sure like there's more, but we drove an hour. And once you get to like the area in which this cemetery is, once you get into Frewsburg and get on the road that the cemetery is in, it becomes like it's like a dirt back road. It's a dirt back road. So if it wasn't already scary that I'm going to a cemetery at night, well, while it's dark, I guess. I mean, technically PM means night, but you know what I mean. I didn't go at like 3 a.m. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So you're driving on this dirt back road for a while, and then you pull up. It's kind of hard to see. Like when we went, I don't know, there's been a lot of reconstruction since it's gotten more popular and more noticed by the public, and especially, you know, ghost hunters alike. Wow, I cannot do my eyebrows. Like, I thought like maybe I'd give myself a second chance to do this twice on camera, but like this is going south pretty damn quick. We finally reach the pull-off in which is connected to the cemetery, and it is a dirt like gravel pull-off. It's not like a driveway, it's just like a little like turnaround spot, and then you can't drive into the cemetery. It's chained off for vehicles, so no vehicles can go in, so no kids can come in and like destroy the graves, which unfortunately, because this is such a popular place, it does get disrespected quite a bit. And I just want to make very clear that when we went there, we had no intention of disrespecting anything, and while we were there, we tried to be as respectful as possible. We pull off and we all get out, and the first thing that we kind of see, the first thing I notice, is this big white cross at the top of the clearing where the cemetery is. And that's like, you know, just slightly off-putting to start this trip out. And we walk up and it's just kind of like enclosed by trees. So you're pretty shrouded by trees the whole time you're in there. I don't know now, it's obviously been like over 5 years since I've been there, so I'm sure it has changed since I was there. But when I was there, it had a bunch of trees everywhere. It was kind of like shabby. Like it definitely looked like people just started to like notice it was there and like fix it up. But there was no like full renovations yet. And we walk around for a while when we get there. We just kind of are peaceful. We're just wow. Life's little mistakes, huh? No one judge me. That's right, I stuck it in my mouth. Fixing life mistakes. Oof. This one is just dark, right? This is my dark boy over here, and then this one's just way too lighthearted for me. I need you to get a little darker, hon. I need you to get some trauma and get that darkness inside of you, because this little light shit, this little happy light shit ain't working, okay? I like my eyebrows bold. Some people don't. I don't know how. I don't have enough eyebrow to like do that soap thing where you like just soap. My eyebrows are blonde, first off. Like I need to recolor them to begin with, but there's no way I'm gonna be able to rub a little sticky thing on soap and then like make my, it's not gonna look right. Like my eyebrows just won't cooperate. I just like having blocks on my face. I can like meet you around the block, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't see the problem. The only things that we brought with us were flashlights and a digital camera. Unfortunately, the people that I went with I'm no longer in contact with. I would love to get my hands on the digital camera to get the pictures, to show you these pictures that we got there, but we are no longer on speaking terms, so gotta move on. Now, to help you visualize where we were kind of walking into like almost a little meadow type deal, and it was shrouded by trees. There was lots of foliage, so there was a lot of coverage. It's not like you could see through the woods, through the trees. There are little tombstones scattered everywhere. There's a big white cross at the top of the opening, and there actually are quite a few tombstones that are like turned over out of disrespect from other people, which is completely unacceptable. Like I don't understand why people think it's fun to go to graves and like desecrate them. While we are walking around, my friend Kyle is taking pictures, and he keeps saying that like the pictures aren't turning out right and that he's struggling getting like this cloud or whatever you want to call it out of the frame. We tried washing the lens because maybe we thought there was a smudge on the lens. We checked it to see if there's any cracks that could cause maybe like light to distort within the lens, and nothing was there. He just kept taking pictures, and that's what was happening. Eventually his camera died, and it didn't die because like we sat there forever using it. It just like died. And if I wasn't already creeped out, like I was just like sitting there like, why did I come here? Why did I sign up for this? Why did I do this to myself? Wow, my eyebrows turned out much better than my first video. They were garbage. Excuse me, I gotta wash my brushes on my sweatpants. After Kyle's camera dies, he still walks around and like every now and then talks about like how he keeps seeing these shadows around him, this whatever, and like at this point I am too scared to like really hear him out. Like I'm scared enough to be a bitch at this point, and I just don't want to hear it. Like I don't want to sit here and like you tell me that you're seeing shadows and stuff's touching you and stuff, and I'm standing next to you and we're in this place. Like I don't like to acknowledge scary shit until I'm in a safe place to acknowledge it, because I do feel like if you give something your time and energy, that it does manifest itself even more. Like not even trying to like make this scientific or like spiritual. Think about it. If you're a dead person and you're a ghost or a spirit or whatever happens, and you're walking around and no one's seeing you and no one's like reacting to anything that you do, and you feel lonely, and then all of a sudden someone does start reacting, you're like, oh, they see me, they heard me, they're gonna keep coming for you. Like, no thank you. So at this point I just tell Kyle to like shut up. I'm just like, enough, no more talking about it, suffer on your own. Suffer in your own time. At this point in the night, we actually hear another vehicle pull up into the pull-off that we did, and we get nervous because we know that it's nighttime, and you know, we're at a cemetery at night, and you know, most people who's gonna see a bunch of kids in a cemetery at night is gonna be like, what are you doing in there? What are you doing? And when we went there wasn't like any posted signs on it. There wasn't like an hour signs to saying like, hey, this isn't open at this time. And again, it might have been dark, but it was that time of year where it gets dark at like 5 o'clock. So we weren't there at some like ungodly hour. But nonetheless, we hear a car pull up and we get nervous and we get scared. And so we hide because we're like, oh my God, this is the cops. This is it. We're going under. Like, we're getting arrested. Turns out it was much worse than cops. Much, much worse. Not that I'm saying that cops are bad, but like in the situation of getting in trouble, it was much worse than getting in trouble. It was teenage boys. And let me tell you something about these boys. They were rowdy. They were so rowdy. They got out of the car, and that's how we knew it wasn't a cop or any like law enforcement coming to get us, because as soon as they got out of the car, we heard just rowdy ruckus craziness come out of the car. So there was multiple of them in this car. I don't remember exactly how many boys, but I could tell you that that car was either full of people or almost full of people. I'm gonna apologize right now for like how white this is. I have my light turned down pretty far, and if I turn it down one more, then it's almost too dark. It doesn't help that I'm so white that like I refract light or reflect light. I don't know. I'm not really mirror or water, so I'm not sure which one my skin does, but it does it. It does it. So sorry if you're having trouble seeing me. I have yellow and then like a line in my crease. And you can ask me like, hey Sam, what look are you going for? I don't know. When I do my makeup, I don't actually have any type of idea in mind. I never really do, unless I get inspired by like a picture of something, or I find something I'm like, ooh, or I get a new product. Most of the time though, what I do is I'll choose a color, and then that's it. I'll just go from there. I like to do a lot of monochrome kind of things and match my outfit to my eyes. Case in point. Because it just, I don't know, it adds a little bit more unity to the look, which I enjoy. But yeah, I have no plan when I do my makeup. I'm just like, green, and I go from there. Once we realized that these guys were kind of bad news and were just going to be rowdy and somewhat disrespectful, we wanted to separate ourselves from them. Because these guys showed up and they immediately went to the big white cross that's like at the top of the clearing, and then they proceeded to like try to climb on it. Like, they tried to, like, I'm not sure if they were trying to push it over or what. They were messing around with it. They were trying to like summon things in a very disrespectful, mocking way. So we decided what was best would be to stay away from them, and that's exactly what we did. We walked further down the clearing. We put distance between us because, again, like, I'm not here to disrespect graves. I'm not here to disrespect the dead. I'm here because I'm curious and I want to be respectful as possible. I used to walk with my grandfather through graves all the time. I know that sounds a bit morbid, but, you know, before he died, that was something that comforted us. They've always been peaceful places to us. I still, to this day, like, if I need, like, a break from life, ironically enough, I go to a cemetery and I'll drive around and I just enjoy the peace and quiet, the serenity, the nature that comes along with it. The cemetery that is actually in the town that I live in now is really nice because it's right next to this beautiful river, and it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I'm actually having a pretty hard time blending this. I really don't know what the problem is. It could be the products I'm using. I'm using a non-known brand makeup eyeshadow palette, so like that could be the problem, or I could be the problem. I'm probably the problem. Kyle and Tony actually went up to these boys eventually because they wanted to know, not to tell them to calm down, don't worry, they didn't do that, but they wanted to know like if they knew anything about this cemetery, because we didn't like really research anything about it. We didn't look up, we just heard about it and like we went. Like, you know, we didn't research anything, which is dumb because I feel like you should truly research something, whether or not it's the story of the place or like the safety of the place, you know, like what if there are people there that want to cause harm? What if animals, like very aggressive animals, are living in the area? Like, you never know. You know, you could have a crazy neighbor out there that like sees us and comes out with a gun. Like, you never know what you're gonna get yourself into, and we definitely didn't even try to figure it out. Not at all. Kyle and Tony walk up to these guys and start asking them questions. I don't. I was so uncomfortable by all these teenage boys showing up and being disrespectful. I actually stayed by myself in the dark, like somewhere a little lower down in the clearing. And while they were asking questions about the cross and like some of the legends, I guess, that they had, didn't even know that there was legends of this place when I went there at the time. I was by myself and I was reading the graves, because another morbid thing I like to do. I like to see how long they lived. I like to see how they died, if it said anything. Just blatant curiosity. Morbid or not, I'm just curious. And I read this one grave and it was about a little girl, and you know, it was just sad. Like, it's just sad to see children die, especially of a disease as smallpox. Because that takes a toll. Like, that is a lot, going through smallpox. Like, I'm not saying I know, but like, smallpox is a serious thing. Like, I'm so glad we don't have issues with that anymore. At least in America, that is. I'm not really sure about other countries, but I know in America we no longer have to deal with smallpox. Another reason I felt really bad is because I know these graves don't really get visitors. Well, unless they're people going to there to see if it's haunted, or, you know, teens disrespecting things. Adults disrespect too. Anyone can be disrespectful, honestly. And it was just like, it was a sad moment. I was like, you know, no one really comes here anymore. No one truly knows who this child is. She's been maybe forgotten by the world, and it kind of got me right in my feels, because like, I can't imagine just being forgotten by your whole family and like whatever. Like, that's gotta hurt. So my sympathetic ass decided that it was smart to put a flower on her grave. You know, I picked a flower, a wildflower that was sitting close by, and I put it on her grave. My mistake. No good deed goes unpunished. So now, I'm all by my lonesome, I'm by a grave, it's dark out, all the rest of the people that are here with me are farther away from me, so I'm kind of just isolated in this little spot. And I hear... Listen, I know some of you aren't gonna believe me when I say this, and like, I don't even believe me, so that's fine. But in this moment, I hear a giggle. And at first I was like, dude, those boys, like, I thought they were all boys. Like, I started looking, I'm like, you know, that's on me for assuming gender. And then I looked at them again, and like, from what I saw, they all stereotypically looked like a boy. Now, you know, someone might not be, that's fine. You do you. You live how you wanna. But none of these boys, teenager boys, men, whatever, that I saw, they all seem to have deeper voices, And I made sure of this. Like, I watched them. After I heard that giggle, I like froze and I was like, what the fuck? So I turned around and I was just like looking at the guys up there and like trying to make sure that none of them have like a little giggle, like a child giggle. Like, I've worked with children. There is a big difference between like an adult giggle and a child giggle. You can even try to giggle like a child as an adult, and there's still a difference from a child. It's very high pitched, it's like a bell, you know, it's very clear. And it was just, let me tell you, okay? My heart dropped out of me, onto the ground, gone, like no more heart. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And then I'm trying to calm myself down, right? Like any normal person's just trying to calm themselves down, tell themselves like, hey, you're just imagining this, like you're getting in your own head, like you're fine. Well, while I'm trying to calm myself down, I then see something move along the tree line in my peripheral. And again, I freeze. You know, I like to sit quietly and listen and wait, because I don't know what my response needs to be, but I need time to think about it, and I need time to know what response I need to use. Like, definitely not a person that like in the moment can truly know whether or not I'm going to do the right thing or not. So I truly like it when I can sit and wait and be like, okay, what should I do now? And let me tell you, I was going to 100% just move on and ignore it. But then my brain was like, hey moron, what if that's an animal? What if that's a wild bear or a coyote or something, like a mountain lion? I live out in the forest area, so like I know these animals roam around. And I was just like, yo, what if that's an animal? So then I proceed to look. And I kid you not, again, some of you are not gonna believe me, and I understand. I wouldn't believe me either. I really wouldn't, because like it's so like it's insane. But I look up, I look over the tree line to make sure I'm not being like stalked by something, animal or person, and I swear I see a little girl. I saw a little girl looking at me and like peering behind a tree. Like she was like peeking behind a tree, and I didn't like look away right away. Like at that point I'm just like staring at this whatever, and she doesn't do anything else besides stand there and look at me in the tree, and I'm frozen and I'm scared. And then eventually she kind of like peers back. She goes like back behind the tree so I can no longer see her. And at this point, you know, my fright, my deer in the headlights is coming down, and I'm starting to think, my brain's starting to work, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then I just start yelling for Kyle and Tony, and I'm like, we have to go. We're leaving right now. Like, I can't. And they're like, what's going on? What'd you see? What happened? And I'm like, nope. I'm not talking about it. Talking about it makes it way too real, especially while you're in the place in which it happened. I don't want to manifest anything. I don't want it. Like, I don't want this little girl to do anything else towards me. I don't want her to try to talk to me more because she saw that I saw her. I just wanted to go home at that point. I'm panicking at this point, and I just want to leave, so I yell for them. I'm like, we're leaving now, and they want to know what's going on, and I won't talk about it. And I'm just like, I'm good. I am perfectly fine with this conversation not happening right now. Oof. I don't know how do people do this while talking? I can't even do this while not talking. Oof. Notice that my wings always are like different because my eye shapes are different. These wings work better, and it helps kind of create a balance to my face instead of just trying to make them exactly the same on both sides. Now, since I can't talk and do my eyeliner at the same time, especially like running liquid liner, I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna finish. I added a little lime green. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow. Oof. I'm actually kind of happy with how that turned out. Now, I like to do my waterline at the top, especially when it comes to colors like this. I think I just blinded myself. We're in the car and we're driving home because I have had enough and I don't need to have a blatant anxiety attack in front of a bunch of random strangers, because then I'm really gonna look like I'm crazy. But we're driving back and Kyle is driving, I'm in the passenger seat, and Tony is in the back seat. And on our way there was like a spider or some type of bug in the back seat that he like freaked out over. So in this moment, he started freaking out again. And we were just like, yo, guy, like, it's fine. It's just a spider. It's just a bug. Like, I don't understand. Like, you're gonna make us wreck the car. Like, I get it, bugs are scary, but like, we shouldn't be freaking out this hard where we're gonna like wreck the car. Well, it wasn't a bug. And Tony is freaking out to the point where we actually have to pull over. And we're like, what is going on? And it's like, it's just a bug. And he's like, no, like, fuck you, man, fuck you. Like, there was a little girl sitting next to me. I swear to God, I looked over and I saw her and then she was gone. He's like, there was a little fucking girl here. And he's like freaking out. Like, he can't stop swearing. He can't stop like just repeating, there was a little girl, there was a little girl. Cause like, I get it. Like, trust me, after what happened to me right before we left, I understood his panic. And then I start panicking. I start having a panic attack in this car. And poor Kyle is just in the front seat. Like, what the fuck is going on? We eventually start driving again, and we stop at a coffee shop. And we get some coffee and donuts, and we try to sit and talk about everything that we experienced. Kyle said that he actually saw Tony in the back seat, or what he thought was Tony, in the back seat of the car before Tony even got in, and then he just chopped it up to his imagination. So I, Kyle, and Tony all both saw this little girl, right? Just, Like, can you imagine trying to debunk things like this and being like, oh no, that's not real. Like, it wasn't real, it was just my imagination. Like, I can just say that like I was too scared and like my brain started making shadows what they weren't, and I could do that, like, and I will do that just because, you know, I'll go crazy thinking about this shit. Like, I will go way too far in, way too deep. And when you have other people in the same situation as you then sit there and say like, hey, I saw that too, or hey, I experienced this too, that's when I'm like, just like, stop. Like, this is not, no. I don't enjoy this. Not one single bit did I enjoy anything that happened once I saw that girl, because like, it was just like a roller coaster of emotions after that, and a roller coaster of not being able to just be in denial, because now I have other witnesses who saw the same thing I did. And when they described her, they described like a little girl that was like dressed in white, and I don't know why they always gotta be dressed in white. Why are you dressed in white all the time? Like, why am I now afraid of the color white? After that, we all go back to Kyle's house, and Tony lived next door, so he went back to his house, and we didn't really like talk about this. Again, when you experience something like this with a group of people and it's like scary and like unexplainable, I for some reason always notice that we don't really talk about it. It doesn't really get talked about much. Well, the story does not end here. Does not end here. Years later, I'm working nights and I come across a Facebook link to Guernsey Hollow, and I was like, wow, it's really starting to get popular, like it's really bumping now. And it actually sends me to a page that talks about the legends of Guernsey Hollow. Again, something I did not look up before we went. I didn't want to look up something and then have my brain make it happen. Like, I just want to go and experience things, kind of. Not really. But if it was gonna happen, I don't like to make it so my brain's going to already know what to expect. I know that doesn't seem smart, but I also just didn't want to think about it. So, gonna go there not knowing anything about it, and I can pretend that it's just like another regular old cemetery. Wrong. I start reading these legends, and there's three legends about this place. The first one is really sad. It's actually about one of the child residents of said graveyard, and how she got there is really sad. Like, it really makes me sad. And I'm at work, working nights, right? And I work nights on this back road. So, like, I'm already in a spooky environment, and I really should have waited till I was somewhere not as scary. But I didn't, because I never learned my lesson. And I'm reading it, and I have the first story, the first legend. None of these are backed up, I don't think. So, like, I could be wrong, these legends could be wrong, but what I read, what is said about this cemetery, is there was a little girl who lived in the town of Fayetteville when it was, you know, smaller back in the 1800s, you know, like a village type deal. She was either mentally ill or mentally disabled or differently abled. I'm not really sure which one, because the research I did now to go back and make sure I was correct about the legends wasn't really conclusive when it comes to, I've heard both, I read both. So she had something mentally going on with her, and, you know, if you know anything about the 1800s, if you were mentally ill, or, you know, if you were different in any way, you were seen as a nuisance, you were seen as evil, and unfortunately for this little girl, she ticked off enough people in town to make them come after her. And these townspeople chased her into the cemetery, and then she fell while she was running from them, and they stoned her to death. And not only did they stone her to death, they buried her in the cemetery in which she was murdered. Now, I'm not exactly sure which grave is hers. I've heard that the grave is underneath the big white cross. I've also heard that that's not true, so I can't really tell you exactly where she is. It's just like, that's really sad. Like, can you imagine just being someone you don't, like, someone doesn't understand you, so they just stone you to death, and then have the audacity to bury you into the freaking, like, cemetery in which you were killed in? Like, that's a lot of fucked up trauma. That's just a lot of fucked up. I have oily combination skin, so as soon as I get done with, like, the foundation of my eyeshadow and my face, I immediately just, I know they say, like, a few sprays, a little bit from your face, but listen, I need more than that, okay? I'm a big girl. I need more than just, like, 3 sprays 8 feet away from your face. Like, I need it. The second legend is of a little boy, and he is a mischievous little boy, apparently. He likes to mess with people while you're there, and it is said that he likes to pretend to be your shadows. He likes to follow you around and, like, tug on your clothes and just, again, be a little boy, be a little kid. You know, little kids are like this. They like to mess with you, they like to push buttons, because to them it's fun. They're not trying to upset you. They're just like, you know, I'm not touching you. They just want attention. And that's fine. Just not when you're dead. Please don't. Not when you're dead. Well, I guess I owe Kyle an apology. But he was right when he was talking about, hey, I think there's, like, these shadows, and I keep seeing this, and something keeps touching me, and I just didn't want to hear it at the time, so I just kept blowing him off, because, again, horrifying. Horrifying. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm stabbing freckles onto my face. I have, like, this brush, right? I have this brush, it's super small, it's perfect, to just dabble on little freckles, and I dip it into water, just because I need the what is that shit called? Oh, I use eyeshadow. So I need the eyeshadow to stick to the brush so then I can press it onto my face. And I like to go on right here and in the places where I have contoured and just blend it out a little bit. The third legend is about a woman, and I don't really understand why there would be a woman in a cemetery that is full of children, but maybe one of the children were hers. Maybe she's also buried there and there's no grave. I'm not really sure, but there's a woman, an older woman I think, and she's in all white. I think they call her the woman in white, which I've heard that in many different haunting stories. It's a very popular like anecdote to call some type of ghost, but I don't know. I didn't have an experience with this one, so I don't know, but it's a woman in white who like guards the cemetery, and she'll sit in the front apparently and like watch you come up and like try to discourage you from coming. And maybe I didn't get that because, you know, we went there and tried to be respectful as possible. We didn't want to cause any disrespects, and maybe she sensed that or something. I don't know if it's even real, but we didn't have experience with that one. But the fact that I experienced 2 of the legends myself, right? And I didn't know about them beforehand, which I didn't. I did not read this stuff beforehand. I kind of wish I did. I think it would have prevented me from going there, because there's something about ghost children that's just super off-putting to me. Like, no thanks. So I truly did not know what I was getting myself into, and definitely have some fear and some questions. I have a lot of questions. Who wouldn't have questions though? Like, who wouldn't want to? I mean, I guess people who don't believe in it. But it like, this crazy, right? It's crazy everything that went down, and how I wasn't the only one. Like, I hate that most of my ghost experience are backed up by other people, because it kind of makes it so I can't escape from the fact that it happened. I can't just like write it off. I can't make up. Like, let me tell you how much I'll go into denial. If I'm in a room alone and the table in the middle of the room, like let's say there's a table, and the table in the middle of the room like gets up and just flies and smashes against the wall, I'm gonna be that person that's like, there's one hell of a draft in here. Like, damn. Being at work and like reading all of these legends and like realizing that like all of them were true was kind of embarrassing, because at one point I had to like walk away from the person I was working with and like hide in the bathroom because I had a panic attack, because I was like, oh my god, like this happened, like this happened to me, like this is real, like and you know, some people aren't even gonna believe that this is real. And that blows my mind, because like I experienced it. I was there. There was other people there that experienced it with me, and it's just like mind-blowing. I am going to put my lashes on and my lipstick and unplop my hair, and I will be right back. Hello, this is the finished look. I don't know if you can see all the detail. Got some green lips, green eyes, green shirt. Like I said, monochrome, I love it. All just being one color. It satisfies my soul. I really hope you guys liked this video and the makeup that I did. If you would like to hear more stories, let me know. Turns out I'm probably just gonna tell them anyway, so I hope you like these stories. If you would like to tell me your stories, maybe I can tell them on here, or not. If you just want to let me know like what you went through, that's fine. Nonetheless, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Spread the love. Like I said, spread that love, man. Spread it, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next Tuesday.